There's blood everywhere. I can't go in there. I've never seen dead body before.
Stabbed a friend 21 times during a robbery. Beheaded a classmate over jealousy. Shot his parents when they took away the Xbox.
And then he said he was sorry, and then he shot himself.
These aren't twisted scenes from a horror film. They're real crimes, committed by real teens. Their mugshots shocked the world.
Carly Gregg, she's accused of allegedly murdering her mother and attempting to murder her stepfather.
Their stories haunt it. This is Teens Behind Bars, Death Row or Life Sentences, Part 2. What could drive a 14-year-old to commit an unthinkable act against her own family?
Carly Gregg, she's accused of allegedly murdering her mother and attempting to murder her stepfather.
On March 19th, 2024, in Brandon, Mississippi, Carly Madison Gregg took her mother's life in a shocking act of violence. Surveillance footage presented in court showed Carly pacing with a .357 Magnum hidden behind her back, moments before gunshots echoed through the home. She shot her mother, Ashley Smiley, a beloved high school math teacher, 3 times in the face shortly after a friend revealed Carly's marijuana use. After the shooting, Carly returned to the kitchen, texting and playing with her dogs. She invited a friend over, asking, "Are you squeamish around dead bodies?" before showing her the scene. Carly then waited for her stepfather, Heath Smiley, and shot him when he arrived home. Despite being wounded, Heath wrestled the gun from her and called 911, telling dispatchers, and describing the gun going off in his face before the door was opened. At trial, Carly's defense argued she was in a mental health crisis. Dr. Andrew Clark testified about her depression, self-harm, hallucinations, and how medication made her feel numb. He described Carly's memory going blank after letting her dog out that day. Still, the jury found her guilty of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and tampering with evidence after just 2 hours. Carly sobbed as she was sentenced to life in prison without parole. What could drive a 15-year-old to commit an act so brutal it would shock an entire community?
Matthew Borges was only 15 when he killed Lee Manuel Valoria Paulino in December of 2016. WBZ's Lisa Greshy has the story.
In November 2016, in Lawrence, Massachusetts, 15-year-old Matthew Borges lured his classmate, 16-year-old Lee Manuel Valoria Paulino, to the banks of the Merrimack River. There, Borges fatally stabbed Lee multiple times and decapitated him, leaving his body by the riverbank. A dog walker discovered the remains 2 weeks later.
I thought I saw a dead body, but I wasn't too sure because, it was missing some limbs.
Investigators uncovered Borges's notebook, filled with disturbing entries that detailed his plans and expressed jealousy over Lee's interactions with a girl Borges liked. Text messages and notes revealed Borges's intent, with one message suggesting he felt compelled to act. The case drew national attention for its shocking brutality and the youth of those involved. In May 2019, Borges was convicted of first-degree murder with premeditation and extreme atrocity and cruelty. Due to his age at the time of the crime, he was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. Lee's mother, Katiuska Paulino, described her son as the soul of this family, stating,
"One living dead after he was brutally whipped from our side."
What compels a teenager to extinguish a life so young, so close to their own?
The 16-year-old boy is convicted of murder, will spend the rest of his life in prison.
On January 9, 2023, in a quiet alley of North Toledo, Ohio, 15-year-old Deja Green was found dead from a gunshot wound. Her body lay in the 1300 block of Page Street, a discovery that sent shockwaves through the community. Deja's death was the second homicide of the year and part of a tragic pattern affecting Toledo's youth. The investigation led to 16-year-old Joshua Coleman, who had been among those Deja was with after she vanished from her home. Coleman was arrested and later pleaded guilty to murder. In January 2024, he was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison, a fate that will see him spend at least a decade and a half behind bars. Deja's death is more than a statistic. It is a loss that echoes through Toledo, a city all too familiar with the pain of young lives cut short. A young life ended, another confined, and a community left to grapple with grief and questions that may never be answered.
He pointed the gun at me. And then he said he was sorry, and then he shot himself.
What happens when fantasy blurs into a deadly reality? In October 2007, 16-year-old Daniel Petrick from Wellington, Ohio, found himself trapped between two worlds. After a severe spinal infection left him housebound, he turned to video games, especially Halo 3, for escape, sometimes playing up to 18 hours a day. His father, a Pentecostal minister, grew concerned about Daniel's obsession and confiscated the game, locking it away in a safe alongside a 9mm handgun. On October 20th, Daniel retrieved both the game and the firearm. He approached his parents as they sat on the couch and asked, "Would you close your eyes? I have a surprise for you." He then shot his mother Susan in the head, killing her instantly, and turned the gun on his father Mark, who miraculously survived a gunshot to the head. Daniel attempted to stage the scene as a murder-suicide by placing the weapon in his father's hand before fleeing. He was quickly apprehended. At trial, the defense argued that Daniel's immersion in violent video games had desensitized him to real-life consequences. While the idea that he believed his parents would reset like video game characters was never a formal legal argument, it became a chilling symbol of how virtual obsession can distort reality. Daniel was convicted of aggravated murder, attempted aggravated murder, and tampering with evidence. He was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 23 years. In May 2010, Guthrie, Oklahoma was shaken by a crime that seemed ripped from a thriller. A daughter orchestrated her own father's murder.
A Guthrie teenager accused of planning her father's murder will stand trial.
Callie Fryer, just 16, called 911, sobbing that she'd found her father, Louis Fryer, dead.
There's blood everywhere. I can't go in there. I've never seen a dead body before.
But beneath her distress lay a chilling deception. Callie had been secretly dating 21-year-old Jay Chills, a relationship her father forbade. Determined to be with Jay, Callie claimed she was pregnant and that her father stood in their way. She left the back door unlocked, guided Jay to a kitchen knife, and instructed him to kill Louis. On May 13th, Jay entered the home and stabbed Louis multiple times as he slept. After the murder, Jay fled in Louis's car, expecting Callie to meet him. She never did. Investigators quickly pieced together the plot. Phone records placed Callie at the scene, and her diary revealed deep resentment toward her father. Jay confessed, exposing Callie's role. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life without parole. Callie, tried as an adult, was convicted of first-degree murder and given life with the possibility of parole. A calculated lie, a brutal murder, and a family shattered, all orchestrated by a teenage girl. Some of them were honor roll students. Others had troubled pasts no one saw coming, but all made one irreversible choice, and now face a lifetime of consequences. Do we see them as monsters, or as kids who never got a second chance? Let us know what you think in the comments. If this story stunned you, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a case this chilling. More shocking stories are coming soon. Stay curious and stay safe. Thank you for watching.